So yesterday I was complaining about it never getting chilly in Houston, and I woke up and it was in the low 50s, which not cold by my standards. Still, I'll take it. It's again the fall that I've got. It's not cold enough to make any leaves change and fall off trees, but I'll take it. It's cold enough for the native Houstonians to start pulling out their puffy winter coats and their gloves and their hats. I'm running around in shirt sleeves because I'm like, lower 50s, no big thing. I love, even fall in Houston is great for two reasons. One, it gives me a chance to pull out my fuzzy socks. Two, it gives me an excuse to make cocoa without actually having to turn on the AC to a point where it's comfortable to drink a warm drink in the house. What I'm going to show you tonight is my mom's hot cocoa. It's kind of awesome. She used to make it a lot more when we were kids. Obviously, since we don't live with her anymore, we only really get it on holidays. But it is, like most things my mom makes, pretty darn good. We're gonna start with a quarter cup of sugar. And what's really great about this recipe, I'm making it for two. You can easily double this, triple it, quadruple it if you need to, because it's basically a 2-to-1 ratio for sugar, and it's a 2-to-1 ratio for sugar and cocoa. Then you add your milk. You add about a cup of milk per cup of cocoa you're making. So it's very easy to scale up. So I'm adding to this, I just added a quarter cup of sugar. I'm going to add 2 tablespoons, or 1/8 of a cup of cocoa, which looks like a lot more, but I'm going to go with it because it works. We're going to add a little dash of vanilla. Just eyeball it. And then, to kind of offset some of the sweetness, just a little pinch of salt. And then we're going to add, I have a big old measuring cup of 2.5 cups of milk. I'm going to add about 1/2 cup of it. And I'm going to start by whisking that together until it's nice and smooth. And like most other milk-based things that we've made together, we want to keep this on medium to low. And like most other milk things we've made together, I'm going to whisk this a lot because we want to break up the cocoa chunks. Because cocoa's kind of like baking soda. You get a clump of it, it's just not a fun experience. And we're going to kind of let this, whisk this together until the cocoa and the sugar and the milk and the vanilla are kind of smooth and creamy looking. You don't want the lumps. Eventually you're going to get out your handy dandy spatula and you're going to kind of scrape the sides here because what happens. I pretty much, people talk about pumpkin spice latte weather. For me, it's all about the cocoa. Especially since that one coffee shop discontinued my gingerbread latte. I'm not happy with that particular coffee chain for that. But you're gonna kind of simmer this together, break up the lumps, and then when it starts to simmer, you're going to add more milk and bring it back to a simmer. My mom always, when we go up for Christmas, and when I say go up for Christmas, it's like an hour. It's still Houston. It's called Cleveland, but it's not Cleveland, Ohio. It's kind of disappointing in that regard. It's like, oh, we're going to Cleveland. Oh, that's exciting. You to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? No. It's Cleveland. It's Cleveland, Texas. And so that is just about perfect. There are no lumps of cocoa. It's starting to get that little simmery, like I'm getting ready to start bubbling noise, which is highly desirable. It's starting to get this little foam on top, and you notice the little bubbles are starting to form. So we're just gonna add the rest of our milk. And give it a good stir. Foods that have a very sentimental meaning for us. Food is family. I really believe that. I think that may have something to do with like my childhood. I told you about my great grandma and how she used to feed us whenever we go to visit. And my mom, dinner was incredibly important to my mother. We always ate together as a family. It was usually homemade, and it's something that I've carried on with Everett. Even though there's just the two of us, we are still a family, and we still eat like a family. We sit down at the dining room table every night, and we talk, and we eat, and we discuss what's important in our days, what's going on in the world, what's going on in our lives. It's just, there's something very therapeutic and comforting about food and breaking bread with people you care about. I think that's why when the pandemic hit this year, so many people turned to cooking as a way of soothing themselves. Because in a world of isolation, we craved connection, and food is generally a way that we connect with people. It's socialization. It's sustenance of both our body and our souls and spirits and hearts. I know that I equate my ability to sit down and have a good meal with a sense of balance in my life. It helps me nurture myself. It's home, and that's really what this whole blog video series is about. It's about growing home, figuring out what home means to you, and building it for yourself. And it's actually been a common theme in my classroom too, is the idea of connection versus isolation. And I think food is just one of those things that always brings people together, no matter how different you are. I think about Stargate and Daniel Jackson sharing a protein bar with an alien, and just how intrinsically universal that is. It's one of those things that really stuck out to me. But that's cocoa. Cocoa is comfort. Cocoa is home. So if I were making a big batch for a lot of people, I would probably decant this into some sort of carafe or something, of which I have several. I collect kitchen stuff, so sue me. But since it's just the two of us, I'm just going to use my trusty ladle and spoon it out. I hope you guys give this a try. It is very soothing. It is very lovely. Cocoa is just lovely, with marshmallows, without marshmallows. It is childhood in a cup, especially if your childhood was spent on ski slopes or in the snow. If not, you should try it. It's amazing. The cocoa and the snow and the ski slopes. I'll see you next time. Take care of yourselves. If you're looking for something to eat with your cocoa, try my grandma's chocolate zucchini cake. Click and subscribe for more recipes and helpful hints for your home. Another thing I particularly love about fall is the fact that Arthur and I can rock the same feetsies. I can pull out my fuzzy kitty socks. Oh yeah. Tiger Stripey Fitsy. Tiger Stripey Feetsies Club.